Okay. From last week. And we kind of alluded to just a little bit on Adam and Eve. And so we're gonna jump down into chapter 3 a little bit more. And then we'll hit chapter 4. There's really something in chapter 4 and 5 I really want to kind of go to talk about in detail. Chapter 4. Chapter 5 is really genealogy. We'll mention that. We'll keep moving. Then we'll finish up with 6 with Noah on the night. So we got a lot to cover. At any time, stop me if you got any questions. But I may be calling on you, so make sure you keep your Bible ready. Keep your Bible handy. We maybe ask you to do that as well. All right. So chapter 3. All right. We'll go back. All right. So when did chapter 3 happen? We don't really know. We don't really know how long Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden. No, we don't. It could have been, like I said, 5 days. Could have been 50 years. But we don't know. All we can say was that this story right here is the first kind of recording of history after the creation. After God created everything, the story of Adam and Eve is the first thing. So we do know it was after creation, right? But it was post. Shelf right there. Admit. But it was after creation, but it was before they were kicked out. And so that's what we're kicking off the story today. So and it is the who we talking about. God, of course. Talking about the first man, Adam. Talking about the first woman, Eve. And also we're going to talk about the serpent, that old serpent. That old serpent. So if you're just logging in, if you would, get your cameras on, appreciate it. Chapter 3 introduces us to, like I said, a new character. It's the serpent. Who is it? Now, we mentioned last week. I mean, we talked about last week about what happened between verse 1 and verse 2. What is that called? The what? Who remember that? The theory. What's the name of that theory?
Gap.
The gap. Right. Thank you, Mother. I need somebody else to talk now, other than Mother Matthew.
Okay, I'm gonna mute myself.
Right, the gap theory. Well, in Revelation, it talks about that. All right. And so, and I want you to, and this is going to come back up in 3 right here. It said, then a war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon. And the dragon, who is the dragon? Who's the dragon? You can come off mute. Who's the dragon?
Lucifer, Satan, the devil.
That's right, Lucifer. So they fought against the dragon, and his angels fought back. So he was not strong enough. They lost their place in heaven. So you got Lucifer, wasn't Satan. Yeah, Lucifer and his angels, a third of the angels of heaven, fighting against Archangel Michael and the rest of the angels. So this was a war. There's somebody else trying to get. There's a war that was going on in heaven, and right here, Revelation talks about it in Revelation, but it actually happened in Genesis. Okay, there she is. But it happened in Genesis. So the great dragon was hurled down. The ancient serpent called the devil Satan, who leads the whole world astray. He was hurled down to the earth with his angels with him. So when he was kicked out of heaven, some angels came with him. That's going to be relevant when we get later on in the book, one of the books that we're going to cover. So just keep that in mind. Put a pin in that. Put a pin in that. And so Genesis does not mention Satan by name. Keep in mind, there's nowhere in Genesis, in this story, that it said that the serpent name was Satan, but we know it was, right? Nor does it specifically state that Satan or any other demonic being controlled the serpent. It doesn't state that. But Revelation does call Satan the serpent of old. So it was him. So let's look at the first temptation. Someone read chapter 3, verse 1 through 7.
1 through 7.
Genesis chapter 3, verses 1 through 7.
It's a New International Version. Now the serpent was more crafty than any of the wild animals the Lord God had made. But it's not eat from any tree in the garden. The woman said to the serpent, we may eat fruit from the trees in the garden. And God did say, You must not eat fruit from the tree that is the middle of the garden, and you must not touch it, or you would die. You will not certainly die. The serpent said to the woman, for God knows what, God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like God, knowing God, good and evil. And the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eyes, and also just desirable from gaining wisdom. She took some and ate it. It
So,
was
all right. No. You're good. You're good right there. So let's see real quick right here. What where it was messed up at, and then this is how the enemy still deals with us today. It says right there, the woman said to the serpent, "We may eat fruit." Hope y'all got your Bibles from the trees in the garden. Then, but did God say you must not eat the fruit of the tree in the middle of the garden? You must not touch it, nor you should die. So she said, God said we can't eat the fruit. Um, said that we can't touch it, or we're gonna surely die. That's what she said. Now she told Satan, said God said we can't eat from it, we can't even touch it. Now let's look back at chapter 2. We didn't hit this part last week, but chapter 2, verse 16, when God told, who did God give the command, but not to eat from the tree to? Who did he give that to?
Man.
Right, Adam. Eve wasn't even around yet. In chapter 2, verse 16, he told Adam, said, and the Lord God commanded man, you are free to eat from any tree in the garden, but you must not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, for when you eat from it, you shall surely die. Eve said, we can't eat from it, and we can't even touch it. That's a difference. That's a difference right there. And so Eve is already engaging on that communication level right there. She's not even saying, given what she was told, she's adding stuff to it, and that's all the enemy wants us to do, is to add or take away something that God tells us. And when you start playing with them words, he's a master of words. He's slick tongue. And so that's when the devil comes and says, okay, well, I got you now. Right? I got you now. And so the woman told the serpent couldn't eat from it, that they couldn't even touch it. So the serpent told her she was mistaken, because God don't want you to eat from it, because he know when you eat from it, you're going to be just like him. And then let's look at chapter 3. It's not on this right here. Chapter 3, it said, then when they saw that it was good to eat. So my question is, what changed the way that the fruit looked before the serpent talked to it, and the way it looked after he talked to it? How did it change in appearance? Anybody?
Can you repeat it again?
So now,
You can repeat it again.
yeah. Let's look at chapter 3. Chapter 3, verses 5. It says, for God knows that when you eat from it, your eyes will be open, and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. And then chapter 6 says, when the woman saw that the fruit of the tree was good for food and pleasing to the eye, and also desirable to gain wisdom, she took some and ate it. So what changed? Because whatever the fruit was, a lot of people say apple. Bible say apple. So we don't know. Could have been orange, could have been a fruit, don't exist no more. But it was fruit. It was a piece of fruit before he got talking with it. It was still a piece of fruit, but the way when he started talking to it, it changed her perspective on it. It said now she saw that it was good to eat and she can gain wisdom. So the enemy operates with your mind. The mind is the battlefield. So all this was happening where her, then she said, oh, I'm making gain wisdom. Now it look good. And that's how temptation is. Right? That's how it is. And so she ate it. And then after that, it said, what she do after that?
She gave the animal a little bit.
Right. So that's my question. And I had to get some straights on this when I was younger, because when you hear this preach and talk sometimes, Eve get a lot of flack.
But
it said she gave something to her husband. The B clause that said, who was right there with her? So man, okay. So when
He deflected.
I was like, okay, why didn't you say something, Al?
He deflected because his mind was interested in trying to get some of that wisdom and everything. And so, and just like he told God that it was her. Yeah, it's the mind.
Well, obviously. And so the command was given
Because
to Adam.
he made it sound good. He made made it seem like he can be just like God.
Right.
Right.
But why didn't Adam say, hey, why you talking to my lady? You ain't got no business talking to her. God didn't. I told her what God said. You need to be talking to me. But he said nothing. Adam said nothing.
He
And
wanted
so immediately at that time, when Satan still to this day, he tried to subvert the order of God.
Yep.
So he didn't go to the one. He didn't go to Adam. He went to Eve. And then it said when they ate, we know the rest of it. We won't go into all that. Their eyes were open and they realized they were naked. They were already naked. But then their eyes open, so they sewed fig leaf together. We won't go into his something in them fig leaf too. We ain't got time to go and all that. So here's the order right here for his principles. Adam was first as the head, then his wife was the helper. The serpent wanted to subvert God's order. God's order. God gave Adam the responsibility of the garden and all things. Same order where he first approached Eve rather than Adam. Eve spoke to the serpent. When God came calling, he called Adam. Because later on in that, God came in and said, Adam, where you at? Where you at, Adam? Right? And he said, and Adam like, I heard you walking in the garden and we were afraid. Well, God said, what you doing afraid? Because Genesis 3:7 said, then the eyes of them were open. God said, well, who told you were naked? Right? Who said that? So before their sin, they felt no need to cover their bodies because there was no sin. But after they sinned, they became aware of their guilt, their shame. They were exposed. They tried to cover up their guilt and shame and all that. And then here come God. God confronts Adam about their disobedience. He confronts the man. He said, what you doing? Y'all trying to hide with some fig leaf. How y'all trying to hide with some fig leaf? What fig leaf gonna do with God? All right. And so when God found them, he discovered, quote unquote, discovered. God always knows that they ain't. Adam blamed God for it. He said, "It's their wife you gave me." Look, he said, "It's their wife you gave me." The Eve said, "It's this snake." and the serpent was like, "Hey, I'm just doing what I do." Right. You knew I was a snake when you were talking to me. When I come slithering up, what you talking to a snake anyway walking upright? Why you talking to me? Right? And so the man blamed the woman blamed the snake, and the snake was just chilling. He's like, hey, it is what it is. Right? And so let's talk about God headship real quick. Then we're going to go into curse, the sin. And so then so God gave headship of the family to Adam. So therefore, Adam was responsible for Eve. She came from his rib, from his side. So the command, like I said, not to eat from the tree was given to Adam. That was on him. So let's look at what happened. Look at the curse. God cursed the serpent above all livestock, above all beasts. How many of y'all on this call right now like snakes? How many of y'all hate snakes? I don't like them either. I ain't just absolutely afraid of them, but I don't like them. I don't like them. And that's part of it. That's part of the reason it was cursed. It was cursed. God said, you're gonna crawl on your belly and eat dirt the rest of your life. Because during that time, snakes walked up like this, kind of like a cobra kind of comes up now. But during that time, a snake walked with feet like this. Now, if you do the research on it, the feet is inside the body of the snake and it slithers on the ground. That's part of the curse. That's part of the curse. For the serpent, right? And then it said, I'll put enmity between you and the woman. That's why women don't like snakes, one reason. I'm just saying this right. I'll put enmity between you and the ground. Then that second part, get into the devil. It said, between your offspring and hers, said, he will crush your head and you will strike his heel. Then we're going down, all right? So let's look at the woman. Ladies, all right. Y'all give me y'all part right here. God told the woman she would have pain in childbearing, and her husband rule over her. Look, this is the Bible. Right here, this ain't. So in the pain, and mothers that y'all done had kids, they have some pain and all that kind of stuff going on. Y'all get to heaven, y'all take that over Eve. Yeah, y'all can take it over Adam. Then look, then God told the man that said the ground was going to be cursed because of his sin. Say he'll have to labor with difficulty and grow food. Eventually, he returned to the ground and dust from which he created. Now, I've heard this mistaught. Some people say that the curse, he cursed Adam with work. No, he didn't. Adam was already working. Adam was already tending the garden. He was already naming the animals, taking care of the garden. So work is not a sin. Work is not a curse. God said, I will make it harder for you.
Harder. Yeah.
He said, I will curse the ground. Before that time, it was a perfect garden. So things were just growing up, potatoes and tomatoes and bananas and grapes or whatever. It was just a perfect place. But then the ground became cursed, so he had to work harder for it by the sweat of his brow.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So then the man and woman were removed from the garden. So they did all that. Then said the man named his wife Eve because she was the mother of living. All living, and said God made man Adam, Eve, and go sweat skin, blah, blah, blah. Said he removed them from the Garden of Eden. So they would no longer have access to the tree of life, which allowed them to live forever. And so God put that tree in the middle of the garden, and to kind of summarize that, for it's really two reasons. And I heard a lot of people, why God put it in the middle of the garden if he didn't want them to touch it? Why he didn't put it in there? Well, it's two reasons. First of all, God wanted to know, can I trust you? And two, he wanted to know, do I own you? Can I trust you, or do you trust me, rather? Do you trust me, and do I own you? Because keep in mind, they had to walk through all these trees that they could have ate from just to get to the tree in the middle of the garden. And we do that a lot of times. We get so locked in on something that we want that we don't even stop to look around at the blessing that God has already given us. Because we got to have that thing right there because we locked in on it. We got to have that thing. And right there, at that moment, the lack mindset entered the world. Because they weren't focused on what they had, they were focused on what they didn't have. And it still permeates us today. We don't focus on what we have. We always focus on, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough time. I don't have enough sleep. I don't have enough food. I don't. That's when the lack mindset entered the world right there. And we still deal with it today because we're still trying to get that tree in the middle of the garden and not knowing that we can eat from all these other trees. Adam and Eve brought that mindset in. That's a lack mindset. All right. So today's relevance, they will hop on to the next chapter. Said not following God's design leads to sin that separates us from him. Just like Adam and Eve were removed from the garden and thrust out into the world. The same can happen to us. Same thing. Right? And don't listen to the lies of Satan because disobeying God's commands leads to death. And some people, before we go on to 4, some people even believe that the dialogue back and forth with Eve and the serpent was not even audible. It was on a spirit level. But whatever level they were on, Adam could have said something. He could have said something. All right. But he said nothing. And then we have what we have. So Adam and Eve, they sinned, and they're kicked out of the garden with angel protecting the garden. Any question of that before we move into 4? Now, really, there's 4 is good. Any questions? Kwanzaa, what you got? All right.
Yeah, I didn't raise my hand. I was scratching my head.
Oh, you were scratching. scratching that how. All right, so let's go to 4 right here, and then we'll hop on in. Y'all good? Y'all logged in?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. 4. Here we go. No. And then we'll touch on 5. Not a whole bunch on 5. All right, so Adam and Eve had 2 sons. Who were they initially?
Cain and Abel.
Oh, hold on. I done lost y'all. Wait a minute. Let me get y'all out. Oh, here we go. Who were they?
And
Cain and Abel.
Cain and Abel. Okay, good. So y'all know that. So I'm gonna assume y'all know some stuff now. We talking now. All right, we getting to the good part. All right. So go over here. Let me get this up. Let me share this with you here. I'm not sharing it. Y'all can't see that, can you? Can y'all see that?
No, sir.
Oh, hold on. Let me get mine. Oh, hold on. I got my controls everywhere. All right, here we go. There's the screen 2. Boom. All right, there we go. All right, so let's talk about let's talk about this story. This is so interesting to me. Some of this stuff in here. So when it happened, of course, this is post Garden of Eden, post Garden. No exact time frame. We don't know. We just know it was after Garden of Eden, somewhere between 1 and 130 years. Adam was 130 years old when Seth was born.
Mm-hmm.
So we know it was between 100 and 130. And I was reading somewhere because this way my mind, I be wanting to know. I'm just knows about stuff. And I said, how tall was Adam and Eve? Y'all have wanted that. Y'all probably had. I'm telling you, my mind look crazy now. Don't we talking about me? So how tall was Adam and Eve? I wonder how tall was Moses? Because they talk about the giants and all kind of anyway. Most of those said that they were about 15 feet tall. Ain't that interesting? 15 feet. And then since then, man has been coming down. Boop, 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 boop. That's neither here nor there. That was just a side note. So the characters here, Cain, of course, he's the eldest son of Adam and Eve. He was the earth's first murderer. Oh, think about that. Then you had Abel, the son of Adam and Eve. He was murdered by his brother Cain. This is general. Then we're going to go a little more detail in it. Then you got the family of Adam and Eve. Chapter 4 includes with the genealogy. And then 5 goes into that full genealogy right there. So where did it happen? Adam and Eve, of course, they were kicked out of the garden. In chapter 3. Like I said, we weren't told where they settled after they were evicted, but this chapter picks up wherever that was. This chapter picks up there. And then we're going to go down into it. All right, so chapter 4, verses 1 through 8. Somebody read that for me.
And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. And in the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is it thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked with Abel his brother, and it came to pass, when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother and slew him.
Killed him. That's King James, ain't it?
It is.
You read them thieves and dogs, boy.
It is.
King James. I know they're authentic.
Yeah.
Right there. So okay. So keep that in mind. That kind of frame where we're going. And so Cain, of course, his firstborn, spear, man, man of the field. Then Abel, secondborn. He was a little more of the kind of like the mama type, you know, type. Cain was a farmer. Abel was a keeper of the sheep. You can see the different personalities right now. Right? He was Cain and Abel were brothers, but they were different. They were different, right? And so both brothers prepared a sacrifice to make to the Lord. Now I want to get somebody. I'm gonna pause in a minute to get some ideas from y'all from this small group. All right? Somebody's trying to get in there. It said in the course of time, as Cain was reading, Cain brought some fruit of the soil as an offering, and Abel brought an offering, fat portions of some of the firstborn of the flock. God was pleased with Abel's offering, but he disapproved of Cain's. Oh, okay. But both of them brought an offering, right? So my question is, I got an answer right there. Why did God not look with favor on Cain's offering? Somebody give me some ideas. What you think?
I feel Abel's offering was from his first, so he always say, the 10th and you think of God first. So I think Cain's offering was rejected because his attitude was not that of a giving nature, but just he gave, but whatever. Whereas I felt Abel, in reading this, gave his best. So,
Okay.
and it was the first, so that was my take on it.
Anybody else? No.
He was a cheerful giver.
Amen.
Possibly not.
Right.
Did it
Right.
say? What did it say?
I didn't think he gave. I didn't think he gave it from his heart. I think the
Yeah.
one gave from his heart, and the other one gave out of spite.
Where y'all get that from? Wait a minute, let me read. Hold on, I may miss something. It said Abel kept the flocks, Cain worked the soil. Of course, of time, Cain brought some of the fruits of the soil, and Abel also brought him offering fat portions of some of the firstborn of his flock.
Well, to me, the key was the first. I mean, off the top, he just, whereas I just felt Cain just gave what he just gave. No pride about it and not caring about it, not from the heart like this. That was my gathering. So.
Okay. I don't know. Now,
that's what I felt.
I want y'all to look when you read the Bible. I want you to read it intently. It said,
Okay.
you get your Bible open. It said that Abel kept the flock. Of course, time Cain brought some of the fruits of the soil as an offering, and Abel brought an offering fat portion from some of the firstborn of the flock. And the Lord looked with favor on Abel and his offering. Abel brought what?
Abel brought the firstborn of his flock.
And Cain brought what?
Cain and his what did Cain? Cain brought the grain brought some of the fruits in the soil.
Some of the fruits of the soil.
So Cain's offering was from the ground.
Come on now.
And Abel's was from a living thing, because God created and blew the light. I mean, that was a living being, living sacrifice. And I don't know. And the ground was kind of like cursed a little bit, but I don't know.
No. So, and we can keep moving because this can get real deep. But Mother, you kind of hit it on the head first when you said that Abel brought an offering of fat portions of some of the firstborn of his flock. And it said Cain brought some of the fruits of the soil. Kind of casual. It's kind of like, okay, like this month, I'm not gonna give God my first fruit. I'm just gonna give him what's left.
What's left over?
I ain't gonna tithe. I'm gonna pay my dues. Y'all remember dues in the old church?
Yeah, leave the old church alone now.
I'm gonna pay my assessment. I'm not gonna give God. I'm not gonna give God from that first. Right, I'm just gonna pay that. And so what happened? What happened? God disapproved of it. right? He disapproved. Like there's no verse that say that God rejected the offering because it was not the firstborn animal offering. Also, another state that he was presenting a sin offering, but it's possible. But like just that, the quality of the offering could have been that the quality was poor. It could have been that it was not the first thing that was gathered that Cain gathered. He just went by, oh, it's time to get sacrifice. Let me just go ahead and pick some of these bananas. Right? And Leviticus 2:14 said, if you bring a grain offering of first fruit to the Lord, offer crushed heads of new grain roasted in the fire.
Yeah.
So Abel went to the firstborn and killed some of those and brought it. Don't get God what's left. God wants the fresh. He wants the new. Right? In that. And so the New Testament gives more reasons for Cain's offering. We won't go into that. We're gonna go into this right here, Cain's heart. And so before we get into that, Shakina read in there, it said, and Cain said, let's go out into the field. Hey, Abel, hey, let's go out here. Let's go out into the field. And said, while they were in the field, Cain attacked his brother Abel and he killed him. He killed him. So this is my question. I tell y'all, this is the way my mind works. So y'all getting a peek into my mind. Where did Cain learn how to kill? Learn how to murder. Because up until this point, he hadn't seen it on earth. He took him out and he killed him.
Yeah, that's what the word is.
So he had no gun. They had guns. So he had to probably hit him on the head with a rock, a big stick or something. Or something. But he killed him. So and this is a little heavy right here now. He hadn't seen anybody killed, but he had witnessed animals being killed for sacrifice.
You know
Could
what?
it be that Cain, instead of worshiping, killing the animal for sacrifice, was in his mind plotting how he can use that against his brother? And the devil, once again, is taking something that's meant to be spiritual, sacrifice, and making it evil, murder.
That's good. That's good.
And that's how he operates. That's the theme, the stream you're gonna find all down throughout the Bible. And so right here in 1 John 3:11, it said, don't be like Cain. It said he belonged to the evil one and murdered his brother. And why did he murder him? Because his own actions were evil and his brothers were righteous. But don't put all that on Cain. Because who put that in his bloodline? Who put that sin in his bloodline?
It came between Adam and Eve.
His mom and his daddy. His mom and his daddy. When they say that's what a quote said, that the apple don't fall too far from the tree. That's where that came from. Right there. So listen, don't be like Cain. Listen, don't be surprised, brothers, if the world hates you. We know that we are passed from death to life because we love each other. All right, let's go on down here. Abel's offer was looked on with favor by God. The Bible tells us Cain worked with evil. The Bible shows us the evil works preceded the murder. Let's look at Genesis 4:7. It says, if you do what is right, you will not be accepted. I'm sorry, will you not be accepted? If you not do what is right, sin is crouching at your door. That's what God said. So it was something that was wrong. Somebody said that with his heart. Who said that?
Monique.
Yolanda. I thought Yolanda said
Yolanda.
that. Yeah. So obviously God knew that, Yolanda, because he said right here, there's something wrong with your heart. And let's look at Cain defiant himself. When God convicted him, Cain was defiant. Chapter 4, verse 5 says, but on Cain and his offering, he did not look faithful. So Cain was angry. His face was downcast. And the Lord said, what you mad about? Almost like God said, you knew I wasn't going to take that. You knew I was going to take that. And later on in the Old Testament, they said a bad sacrifice is stinking his nostrils. Right?
Mhm.
And so God provided a way out for Cain, even for Cain. Think of it, this is how loving God is. And even for
Grace and
Cain,
mercy.
Cain's pride and stomach allowed sin to rule him. Just let him commit the first murder. So God would have been justified in killing him. He'd have been justified in killing Cain, right? But let's go to chapter 4 and see what happened to Cain. Someone go to chapter 4. Hold on, let me move this over here out of the way. Go down to 15. It says, but the Lord said to him, not so. Oh, let's go on up. Let's go on up.
13.
Let's go to 10. The Lord said, Cain, what have you done? When the last time God had to come down here and ask somebody what they done or what were they at? Don't that sound familiar? Same thing he did to Adam and Eve. He said, what have you done? He said, listen to this. Your brother's blood cries out to me from the ground. Now you are under curse and driven from the ground. And keep in mind too, when God asks us the question, God's not asking us because he lacks information.
Right.
God is asking us the question to give us an opportunity to confess because he knows the answer. Right? It said, now you're under curse and be driven from the ground, which opened his mouth to receive your brother's blood from the hand. He said, when you work the ground, it will no longer yield its crops for you. You will be a restless wanderer on earth. This we telling Cain. Good God Almighty. Cain said to the Lord, my punishment is more than I can bear. So the day you drive me from the land, I'll be hidden from your presence. I'll be a restless wanderer. He said, whoever finds me will kill me. Okay, I'm going to dig. I got time. Yeah, I got time. And whoever finds me will kill me. I'm going to show y'all something now. And y'all pick up this. He said, whoever finds me will kill me. Who he talking about? Who? Like, who else is it?
Well, his parents.
No, he kicking them out, wandering the earth.
Yeah, well, they're wondering. Whoever finds.
It said, whoever finds me will kill me. Who? Then he said, but the Lord said to him, not so. So anyone who kills Cain will suffer vengeance 7 times over. Then the Lord put a mark on Cain so that no one who found him would kill him. So Cain went out from the Lord's presence and lived in the land of Nod, east of Eden. Verse 17. Then we're going to go to the crux of this. Then we're going to keep moving. Get out of here. Someone read verse 17 to me. Because I know somebody got this question. Someone read verse 17.
And Cain knew his wife, and he conceived and bare Enoch. And he built a city.
Stop right there, that first part. Cain did what?
He knew his wife.
Who?
Who his wife is? Huh?
Well, she had to be some king because they all came from Adam and Eve. But
yeah, where she came from though? Good question.
Well, she came from. Well, it had to come from Adam and Eve. I mean, she had to.
But she was in that foreign land that he got kicked, that he wandered into.
Oh, see, now this is really deep. Okay.
It could have been his sister. Because bloodline wasn't tainted like it is now. Like, you know. Brother and sister have a baby now. Something gonna be, you know, the child.
It'd be something wrong. But yeah,
the
because
bloodline was clear back then. So I didn't want to throw that in there. Just be inquisitive about that. We're not gonna waste a lot of time on that.
Okay.
And keep in mind too, there are other beings roaming the earth for us who gonna kill me at that time. So he went out there, knew his wife, she became pregnant, gave birth to Enoch, and all that. So this is the part I really want to get to right here. Let me keep moving right there. God cursed Cain, murdered his brother. Let me over right here. So I want somebody to go to chapter 4, verse 16. Just read that one verse right there. I'm sorry. Nope, not 16. Not 16. Let me go on down. Right here. Okay. Yeah, let me cover this. Then I'm gonna get to the rest of 4, and then we're gonna touch on Noah here in a minute. So Cain settled in the land of Nod. He had a son called Enoch, and his wife. Cain built a city and named it after his son Enoch. Keep in mind now, when they talk about cities back then, it's not talking about like Tuscaloosa. Like when
I
they
hope
say
not.
city, they meant little small kingdoms. So he built like a Alabama, like a Alabama, Georgia, Florida, Mississippi type area. Like it wasn't just like one city. So he built a city. He named it after his son, Enoch, Cain's great grandson, Lamech, and we'll talk about him a little bit. The first man to have married 2 wives. He also claimed to have killed another man for striking him. Where you get that from? Y'all see that bloodline? Y'all see that bloodline? Lamech had 3 sons, specialized in 3 crafts. J-Ball worked the livestock. J-Ball played the lyre and the pipe, and Tubal-Cain for the bronze and the iron. Y'all see this? And then look, Adam and Eve had another son. Why they have to have another son?
To take the place of Abel.
To take the place of Abel, right? So that the pure lineage could continue to Cain, because you had killed somebody.
Right.
He had sin in his heart. All right. So they had to have another son to replace Abel. And then when Abel was born, it said people began to call upon the name of the Lord. Ooh, thank you, Abel.
That's
so Cain's descendants leaned to evil, and Seth's descendants expressed their dependence on God. So let's look at Seth's bloodline. And I'm gonna throw a twist in here on y'all tonight with this right here. Y'all ready for the twist in a minute?
I don't know.
Hey, Bishop Palmer, you say the plot thickens. All right. So the line of Seth, you had worshipers, right? So they sought relationship with God. They prioritized worship and moral alignment. They produced figures like Enoch, right? You remember Cain named his something similar to that. He walked with God, and Noah. And they represent the spiritual legacy of humanity, the spiritual legacy of humanity. Keep that in mind. But now Cain had the entrepreneurs. Cain built the city. His descendants were J-Ball. J-Ball made tents and raised livestock. Jubal made instruments. Tubal-Cain made bronze and iron. So these were entrepreneurs. So these descendants were creators and builders and cultural pioneers. So they had money. Seth's side had the spirit. So Cain's side was the entrepreneurs, Seth's side were the worshipers. Y'all got that? All right, so let's look at some of the key traits of Cain's line. Urban development and civilization. Business, craftsmanship, artistic expression. External progress, innovation represent the cultural legacy of humanity. So if you got one line, and still today, we look at how evil people seem to always have all the money. How they get all that? Well, that's from the line of Cain.
Wow.
That's why the Bible said the wealth of the wicked is laid up for the just. So God give them the ability, right, the mindset, the ideas, and all they have to create and all this kind of stuff. But it's laid up for us. And it's almost like the devil said, y'all gonna have y'all church just as long as when y'all leave out of there, you broke. And you busted and you disgusted and you don't own nothing. And so how can they learn from each other? The worshipers can learn practical wisdom. Seth's line shows us devotion, but they can also learn how to operate in the world, how to build, how to innovate, how to steward their resources. For example, Noah built an ark, right? That was a major engineering logistical task because he listened to God and used practical skills. And then on Cain's side, they can learn spiritual alignment, right? Cain's line achieved success, but without spiritual foundation, it often led to violence and pride. Innovation without worship can lead to self-glory instead of God's glory. God said they got it, but it's really ours. Right? So that's why as Christians, we can't just think that the Bible is the only book we can read. You need to know how to do something. You gotta have a skill. You gotta make an impact not only in ministry, but in the marketplace, because it's still today, churches often have deep worshiping faith, but lack business systems and economic empowerment. And we look at people like, I like Oprah, but I still don't know if she's saved. But I know she's a billionaire. I know Elon Musk ain't saved, but he the richest man in the world. I know he don't know Jesus. And so Michael, your question, okay, well, why he got all this money? Because he's working the principles. Principles don't care if you believe God or not.
Sure.
Cain's line said, okay, I'm gonna make this, somebody gonna buy it, I'm gonna make money. I'm gonna create this, somebody gonna buy it. That's a principle. That's a principle. So the church business bridge, here we go. Kingdom entrepreneurs today combine both. They innovate and create with God at the center. They worship and they work. And that's true stewardship. And that's one reason why at Greater Faith, why we're being so blessed, because our leader gets this. He's always talking about, I want to be the hub of businesses in this church. This is the way that God intended for it to be. God intended for us to have both worlds. God intended for us to, God put something inside of us, and he wants that thing inside of us to provide for us and our family and the community, and for Christians to dominate the world just like Adam did in the Garden of Eden. Woo! Y'all didn't know all that, did you? Tell my fans.
That's good. It's good.
But that's that Cain line, that's that Seth line, and you gotta have both. Right? You gotta have both. Any question on that? Then we're gonna hit Noah these last 5 minutes. I just got some bullet points on Noah, because y'all know that story. Is that good?
It is.
Woo! Y'all can look at that same vision. Y'all look crazy. Go ahead, mother.
No, it's got the wheels turning now. I mean,
okay. So that was Cain. If you look down throughout the Bible, if you trace Cain line all the way down, it's gonna bump right up into all those civilizations that were rich. It's gonna bump right into all the civilizations, all that, and it's gonna come on down. It's gonna come on down far enough. It's gonna get to the country that got the oil in the Middle East and all that. Right? It's gonna come on that. It's gonna jump over Ephraim and Manasseh and all that Old Testament. All that's gonna kind of trace back to all that entrepreneurship stuff.
That's the eye opener, is separating the Cain and Seth, that entrepreneurship and that spirituality. Yeah. That is the eye opener for me. Right. And you know, I'm gonna go back, because I'm one of them that's inquisitive. I'm gonna go back and start tracing, to align it. So yeah,
that's right. That's right. And so let's hop the last few minutes right here to chapter 6. Let's got a couple slides on this. Someone read chapter 6, verses 1 through 4. The last few minutes right here. Chapter 6, 1 through 4. Go ahead.
When human beings began to increase in number on earth, and daughters were born to them, the Son of God saw that the daughters of humans were beautiful, and they married any of them they chose. Then the Lord said, my spirit will not contend with humans forever, for they are mortal. Wait, that's right? Yeah, mortal. Their days will be 120 years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterwards, when the Son of God went to the daughter of humans and had children by them, they were the heroes of old men of young.
Now, all right. So here we go, y'all. All right, let's go back. I told you when we first opened up that between Genesis 1 and Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 and 2, and it's talked about in Revelation that when there was a war in heaven and Lucifer was kicked out of heaven, a third of the angels was kicked out with him, right? So when a third of the angels were kicked out with Lucifer, these angels were roaming the earth. And so now they're called the Nephilim, or the sons of God.
Okay.
So they're called the sons of God because once they were angels. And so what was happening during that time, it said that the human beings began to increase the number on the earth, and the sons of God were having children by the daughters of man. So they were creating
Okay.
these hybrid babies.
No, y'all left me there.
Y'all thought that was just Hollywood, didn't you? And
Wow.
so they were creating these hybrid babies that later on became known as giants. Goliath. And so God said, God I ain't gonna do this now. He's like, I ain't gonna continue with y'all. I'm tired of y'all humans. Basically what God said. Guys, I'm tired of y'all. Right? I'm tired of y'all. Y'all said, for they are mortal, the days will be 100. And so immediately at that moment right there, God said, okay, the day is gonna be 120 years.
Wait a minute.
Brought it down. Brought it down to 120 years. So before that time, you know, in chapter 5, if you take time to go back through all that, you talk about Methuselah, Lamech, and all this kind of stuff. Methuselah,
6
how
and
long did he live?
700 years.
How long Methuselah live?
What was it?
Oldest man to live in the Bible. How long did he live? Somebody Google it.
Was it 900 and something?
Yeah.
900 and something.
969.
Yes.
Yeah.
Methuselah. So
900.
they lived a long time. Adam lived 130, 150 years, whatever it was. But God said, no, I ain't doing this no more. 120 years. Right there. It said, wickedness filled the earth. So God saw that, look, every imagination of man's heart was evil continually. So you think about the most debaucherous thing that can happen. That's what's going on the earth. With man and man, with man and woman, with fallen angel and woman, all that was going on. All that right there, God said, nope, I'm tired of this. And so then God listened, he rarely says this right here. In verse 6, it said the Lord regretted that he had made human beings on the earth, and his heart was deeply troubled. Woo! That's a place you don't never want God. You don't want to ever get God to regret make you. And he was deeply grieved. He was deeply grieved. Then Noah, thank goodness, Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. Which line Noah come down through?
Seth.
Yeah, absolutely. He found grace in the eyes of the Lord. God gave no instruction. We won't go through that. Y'all know that. God gave no instruction for the ark. That's verses 14 through 20. Gave him a detailed blueprint. He told Noah that start building this ark. And it hadn't rained for years. And you got Noah building an ark to prepare for a flood, but it hadn't rained. You know, so sometimes when God give us, most of the time, when God give us a vision, this is one thing God's not going to do. God is not going to give you an idea or vision and then work himself out the job.
Amen.
So if God gives you something and you know you can do it on your own, that probably ain't God. If God told Noah to go dig a hole, no, that wasn't been no faith. When God tell him to do something that has never been done before in this region. And Noah hadn't ever even seen an ark. So he had to use everything that God gave him spiritually to build it. So Noah had crazy faith. He had crazy faith in doing that. And some key principles right here. So God sees both wickedness and righteousness. He knows what's happening on earth. He knows, right? Judgment is real, but grace is available. Thank goodness that Noah received favor because of his righteousness. He the only one. God looked all over, couldn't find nobody. Nobody but Noah. Noah. One obedient person can preserve a generation. And then Noah's faith saved his family, and your faith can save your whole generation. One man, one obedient man saved a whole generation, but it had to save one. Because God always leaves a remnant. Preparation is an act of faith. And I think that remnant may be my last point. God always has a remnant. Even when the world is corrupt, he preserves a line of faith. He always keep that line of faith, no matter how bad it gets. And we can be bad.
Yeah.
Even throughout the Bible, I was like, God, you just kill them off, and we just start over. Like some stuff children of Israel did. I was like, I'm tired of them. I'm just saying, you done brought them out, you done showed them you a God, you done
And they
gave,
still
you done took them out of Pharaoh's hand and all this kind of stuff. You done put Adam in his perfect garden and done all this, and they still messing up. But then I had to think about it.
Think about me.
Such was some of us.
Yes. Thankful for the grace.
Look, I call the children of Israel PLUs, people like us.
PLU, I like that.
They're PLU. They pay people like us. Because sometimes God got to sit back and say, why you worried about me getting you out of this? And I done got you out of stuff for 500 times, about 500 times. You even tell me, you really worried about this? So do I have all power in my hands or do I not? Am I God who provides or am I not? And so that's kind of the story. That kind of sums up kind of today. I had another slide, dude. I'll send that summer slide. But that gets us past Noah and the flood. Like I said, it's gonna kind of speed up. We gotta take our time in Genesis, but it's gonna probably speed up on some of the other books we can get through all the other weeks. Any questions? Oh, I do need to put this on the screen. Oh, this little QR code. Any questions? Comments? I was so quiet. I know some of y'all be talking.
Just don't want my voice to always be the voice.
Yeah, you ain't got to say that, love. You good. Go ahead, though.
No, but really, it was really good because when you took me back here, when I was thinking about the increase in numbers and constantly, you read things, but you just don't really process it. And I'm like, okay. So I do know that Lucifer was kicked out. He did, and these angels came, but I never thought about that mix because see, then that's when mixed races start way back and before man now. So, I mean, it's opening my eyes to a lot of things and making me go back and think that I have to read a little more intensely and then kind of let it meditate for a minute in my mind and then further research it because this has been some interesting information shared here tonight. I appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And that line between Cain and that's the biggie for me.
Yeah.
Cain and Seth.
That line of Cain and that line of the Abel or Seth.
Yeah, yes. Thank you.
Go back on your own and do that. Well, I mean, we really could have went about 2 hours just on that. But just as a final charge right here, then we'll let you go. Just know, just one-on-one, you were born to dominate, not survive. No, God created us to dominate everything except people. You called to dominate everything but people. Ain't no man called to dominate a woman called to dominate a man, because God created them. God has always had kingdom in mind. Always. Always. Don't settle for religion. Walk in relationship. Let your worship come from the heart. Genesis.4. Walk like Enoch, so in sync with God. And we didn't even mention that Enoch didn't even die.
He didn't die. That's true. It's only 2 people.
He was so in sync with God, God just took him on away.
Yes.
He took him like cow gun. And the young folks like, what did you talk about? Cow gun, take me away. Old people know what I'm talking about. You old 40. Y'all remember that commercial?
Yep.
He walked with the Lord and he was no more.
And he was no more. And no mention of death.
Can't even find his bones.